This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's Friday, June 26th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana. A major construction project in Indianapolis is underway on I-70. We'll show you the closures that could impact your travel through downtown.
I was trying to do my part, go get tested.
Some people are facing roadblocks while trying to get tested for COVID-19. Call 6 investigates why there's confusion for those getting their results.
It doesn't take much for people to get into a hazardous situation and then put themselves in danger.
It's summertime and many Hoosiers are setting out to enjoy waterways across the state, but it can also be dangerous. Working for you, what you need to know to keep you and your family safe. And we do want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Good morning to you, Raphael, joining us down from Johnson County on this Friday.
Good morning to the official RTV6 living room as we continue to social distance. And Lauren, of course, on this Friday, I thought I'd begin with a new feature on Fridays.
Oh.
It's going to be called Let's Do Like Todd. Let's Do Like Todd. I stole this picture from his Instagram account. This is Todd Clausen playing a little golf in Bloomington in Monroe County. Of course, it'll be perfect weather at some point today to do a little golfing. And so I thought, on a Friday, Todd Clausen, let's take a swing at this great sport. And with you on a Friday, what do you have in store for us?
Yeah, Raphael, went down there Wednesday, took advantage of the real nice weather to play the new foul course there at Indiana University. Great course, tough course. That's 18 there. As you can see, not a whole lot of room for error. You either have to hit the green or you're going to be playing in the beach or the tall grass around the green there, the fescue. But things are changing here across central Indiana. So as we go throughout the next couple days, we're going to be talking about heat, humidity, and the chance of storms. With that said, if you want to get on the golf course, you have the opportunity to, especially today. Tomorrow, you'll have a little tougher chance with some storms around. But let's talk about today first, and I'll kind of get more into the weekend forecast for you in Maine weather in just a few minutes. Skies are partly cloudy right now, but what's happening currently is there's a warm front that is just off to our west here, and you notice there's a few spotty showers along this warm front in Illinois. That is going to come through during the course of the middle half of the morning, early afternoon. That'll be a small opportunity for a shower or a quick downpour, nothing widespread. Most of today is going to be dry. Temperatures now another degree warmer in Indianapolis than they were an hour ago, so we continue to see these temperatures climb. We'll be near 90 this afternoon with lots of hazy sunshine, a lot of humidity, so if you are on the golf course, exercising, doing anything outdoors, make sure you drink plenty of water. After the past couple days with real low humidity and very comfortable, may kind of catch up on you a little bit as far as getting dehydrated. So have the water handy, have the sunscreen handy. We'll talk more about the storm chances for the weekend in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look outside right now from our INDOT traffic camera. This is over on the west side at I-70, a little west of Lyndhurst Drive. You can see the eastbound traffic is moving along up to speed this morning. Westbound is quiet, and that's because we have another major road closure to tell you about. The westbound lanes of I-70 starting this morning were closed off between the South Split downtown to Ronald Reagan Parkway. So to break this down for us, our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning by that construction zone. Kelsey, how will this impact the morning commute?
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So this will impact if you ever have to take I-70 westbound over by the airport, or if you're a traveler who has to go to the airport, this is definitely going to impact you. If you look behind me, you can already see that barriers are up. We're here on McCarty Street. This is the I-70 West, again, is closed, and that's going to be closed for over a month as INDOT plans to do concrete patching and work on bridges in this area. Now, as most of you know, I-70 West is a popular interstate to get downtown or even to the airport, and INDOT says all collector lanes will be open to and from the airport during the closure. So to get to the airport from I-70 westbound, you should take I-465 southbound around to the Ronald Reagan collector lanes, or you can continue north on I-465 to get back to I-70 westbound. These full interstate closures will make for faster work, and most importantly, they'll ensure the safety for workers. Now, the timing of this work is, of course, weather dependent. So if we have a lot of storms over the month of June and into July, then this could slow things down. This closure could last a little bit longer. But before you head out, if you need to take I-70 westbound, just double check your route and make sure that there's no big changes to it. And of course, plan ahead and don't drive with distractions. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. We will keep an eye on I-70 West for sure. The time now is 6:05 here on Good Morning Indiana. And new overnight, 2 people are dead after a crash on the city's southwest side. This happened just around 1:15 this morning near Kentucky Avenue, just north of Ameriplex Parkway. Officers on the scene tell RTV6 a vehicle was traveling northbound on Kentucky Avenue at a high rate of speed and lost control. Both people inside that vehicle were thrown from the vehicle and died at the scene. Lauren?
Raphael, we want to get to the latest now on COVID-19 and the outbreak. The Indiana State Department of Health is reporting 9 new deaths and more than 500 new cases. Now, that's about 200 more cases than were reported on Wednesday. The exact reason for this increase is unclear, but the state is reporting 12,000 new tests. That's almost 7,000 more people that were tested than they were the previous day. 43,655 cases have been confirmed in the state of Indiana since that pandemic began. More than 11,000 of those are here in Marion County. And Raphael, we know that testing is crucial for identifying and treating people who are infected with COVID-19.
But as Call 6 Investigates found, some say the process is more confusing than expected. I want you to meet Carrie Banfield. She has asthma, so she decided to get a COVID-19 test at the Walmart on US 31. The site canceled her June 1st appointment and then rescheduled it to June the 8th. Carrie says she swabbed her nose. They gave her a sample and then expected an email about her results in 3 to 5 days, as her paperwork showed. As the days passed, Carrie did not get an email. As she reached day 11 with no results, Carrie reached out to Call 6 Investigates about this delay.
I don't know, maybe I'm a fluke, maybe it didn't, maybe mine just got messed up, but I thought somebody needs to check into it because it's not, it's not okay. I know elder people that don't really use the computer, aren't very computer savvy. So if I'm having difficulties, I can imagine what they're going through.
Call 6 Investigates took action. They reached out to the provider, True North, who told us that Carrie's specimen was posted to her account on June the 9th, the day after her test. She's negative for the virus, which is the good news. True North says she should get an email within 3 to 5 days. If you do not get an email about your results, try logging into the testing site under doineedacovid19test.com.
Well, cases of the coronavirus continue to escalate in more than half of our nation. The U.S. has nearly 2.5 million confirmed cases of the coronavirus and nearly 125,000 known deaths so far. ABC's Karina Mitchell has the latest.
Faced with surging coronavirus cases, Texas now reversing plans to move forward with the next phase of reopening as the state records a record number of hospitalizations.
So my dad's hanging on by a thread. They're in there by themselves with no family. And it's just heartbreaking.
His father, one of 18 members of one Texas family infected after attending a surprise birthday party. Arizona, Delaware, and New Mexico also slamming on the brakes, pausing plans to reopen. All this while a debate rages about whether masks are necessary. From California.
Are you going to allow the government to tell you you have to wear a mask?
To Arizona.
I can't breathe.
To Florida.
It's our bodies, it's our choice whether we're going to wear them, not wear them. You guys are overstepping your boundaries.
Doctors reinforcing how vital face coverings are.
Yeah, masks are an absolutely critical component to really ending this pandemic.
A new model from the University of Washington suggests that some 33,000 lives could be saved by October 1st if nearly everyone wears a mask. And now a stunning revelation from the CDC that for every coronavirus case they have confirmed, 10 people more are likely infected. The CDC estimating 20 million people in the U.S. have been infected with the virus. That's about 6% of the population. Karina Mitchell, ABC News, New York.
So let's stay on this topic. The time now is 6:09, and for the first time in nearly 2 months, the White House Coronavirus Task Force plans to give the public an update this morning. Vice President Mike Pence will lead that meeting this morning, but it is unclear if Doctors Anthony Fauci or Deborah Birx will be there. Earlier this week, Fauci told the House Energy and Commerce Committee that he hadn't spoken to President Trump in more than 2 weeks.
Well, Hamilton County Public Schools are announcing their plans for this upcoming school year. Public and private schools in Hamilton County issued a joint statement saying they will start in-person class on schedule. They will also provide online and face-to-face learning options. Each district will share the additional details in the coming weeks.
So the city of Indianapolis is getting creative, Lauren, on ways to encourage Hoosiers to use masks in public. An art campaign called #MaskUpIndy is using pieces by local artists as public service announcements. It's in partnership with the Arts Council of Indianapolis and will use a portion of the city's CARES Act money to get this project done. Posters of the art will be given to the community centers and businesses to hang in their public spaces. Any organization that would like a poster can reach out to the mayor's neighborhood advocate.
Summertime means it's lake season for many Hoosier families. What officials say you need to do to stay safe on the water.
And the CDC is updating its list of factors that could make someone high risk for COVID-19. Still ahead, what they're adding and why age alone is now being removed. But first, let's check your forecast with Todd Clausen.
And Raphael, a warm front's in the process of making its way into central Indiana this morning. That'll give us a small storm chance here this morning before we get into hazy sunshine and a lot of heat this afternoon. But there's also a cold front heading our way for tomorrow. It's turning into a pretty active weather pattern. We'll break it down for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
Aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
The time now is 6:14. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. And this morning, police are asking for your help in finding 2 vehicles involved in a fatal hit-and-run accident on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Here are the details on this call to action this morning. Investigators say the first car hit 58-year-old Linda Kimbrough just after 11:30 last night. This near 30th Street near Sherman. As she tried to get out of the road, a Jeep Grand Cherokee hit her. Kimbrough died at the scene. Now, the first vehicle is believed to be a blue Ford Taurus or maybe a Mercury Sable between model years 2000 and 2007. It has damage to the passenger side, including a missing mirror, according to police. They described the Jeep as dark-colored, model years between 2008 through 2010. If you know anything about this, you're being asked to call IMPD's Hit and Run office. That number, 317-327-6549.
Well, 9 people have drowned in Indiana in just the past 12 days. Several of those drownings happened while people were just swimming in our local waterways. And our Alyssa Donovan explains this morning what officials want you to do to stay safe around the water this summer.
Accidents on lakes and rivers can happen when you're swimming or boating, which is why it's so important to have a plan before you even head out on the waterways.
It doesn't take much for people to get into a hazardous situation and then put themselves in danger.
Which is why it's best to plan ahead.
Whether it's a lake or a river where they're doing kayaking or boating, it's just knowing what the hazards are so they can prepare for those. We have our high hazard areas with the low head dams, on Williams Creek and on Broad Ripple on the White River. However, these accidents can happen anywhere. That's why you always have to be paying attention and be vigilant with your actions.
When it comes to kayaking or tubing, make sure you have the proper protective equipment.
PFDs or life jackets are critical.
As for swimming, be sure you're competent with the natural environment. It's not the same as your backyard pool. And keep an eye out for currents and waves and underwater obstructions.
Always paying attention because it's very easy to get distracted in a conversation and it doesn't take long for someone to put themselves in a bad situation.
While boating and hanging out at the lake is often associated with alcohol, law enforcement says you really need to limit your consumption when you're around water, especially when driving a boat. The same rules apply on the road as they do on the water when it comes to drunk driving. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
All right, thank you so much, Alyssa, for those great tips. And the waterways will probably be busy places here over the course of the next few days, and the pools as well. Today, close to 90 degrees, a little cooler over the weekend, but extremely muggy with some storm chances. And of course, as we deal with storms, obviously there's some lightning. Whether the storm is severe or not, you need to take those plans indoors and out of any water that you may be either in or on. Here's a live look outside right now. We're dealing with partly cloudy skies this morning, really off to a real nice start start. Temperatures have been warming throughout the past couple hours, now up to 69 degrees in Indianapolis. That's up a degree from last hour, 73 in Sullivan. Terre Haute's at 70 degrees, and the reason why these temperatures are coming up is a warm front's working its way through the area, and this warm front is also going to increase the humidity levels across central Indiana. And so today and into the weekend, we're kind of at that 65 to 70 degree threshold, and that takes us from humid into the oppressive category. So it's going to be a lot different than the past couple days that we've experienced, where the humidity has been really low and we had that bright blue sky with just the fair weather cumulus clouds building in. We're going to have more in the way of that haze that's going to be around, and that's a combination of the humidity and some of that Saharan dust that's going to be making its way into our area over the course of the weekend. As for today, though, our storm chances, our shower chances are actually mid-morning through about the noon hour, and it's a small storm chance, which I'll show you in just a second. But then as we get back into the mid-afternoon hours, hazy sunshine and 90 degrees for your high temperature today in Indianapolis. Some areas to the west could actually be even a little bit higher than that. I just don't want you to be dismayed if you get a quick passing shower in your neighborhood here mid-morning and think it's going to be a stormy afternoon. Definitely not the case, but look at this. We're already starting now to see an isolated shower start to flare up here near the Rockville area, as well as Veedersburg, and this is all part of the warm front that's making its way into central Indiana this morning. Little more organized storm activity up here near Chicago, and a lot of this real heavy rainfall is going to bypass us to the north today, where there actually is a pretty good threat of severe weather. But we're just going to have a spot storm chance in the forecast today. You see that warm front move through with these showers mid-morning, and they're off towards the east by early afternoon, and it's going to be a beautiful evening for you. It's going to be warm and muggy, but you don't have to worry about rain chances tonight. Now, late tonight, overnight, that front drops further down to the south, the cold front, and where that front sets up tomorrow is really going to determine where the showers and storms will be and who sees some locally heavy downpours and who probably doesn't even see any rain at all tomorrow. So you don't need to cancel your plans tomorrow. Just know, unfortunately, for some of you, there will be several rounds, probably some heavy rain coming through. So you have to check radar, but some of you probably get through most of the day without any rainfall. It's just one of those setups. Unfortunately, that's going to be very tough to pinpoint exactly where that rain is going to be, and it's just all going to be dependent on how far that front pushes to our south. Tomorrow, it's a little bit cooler, but still really humid, and then just a little bit cooler due to the fact that we are going to have more clouds around and some storms. You see a lot of thunderstorm icons there all the way through Wednesday. No all-day rains, especially early next week. It's more isolated storms, but what you do see is a lot of heat and a lot of humidity as high temperatures all through next week look to remain, Lauren, into the upper 80s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's plan out your Friday morning commute. Taking a look here south of downtown. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-65 near Keystone Avenue. A busy spot for construction, a long-term project here on the bridge over Keystone Avenue. So we still have the lane shifting in place, so take it easy on those northbound sides. Pay attention and follow those lines, and be careful as you take it slow because this is an active construction zone. Southbound side, you are restricted to just 2 lanes. The exit ramps remain open. Use caution as you're merging in this area. No crashes to report around the metro area at this early hour. And Raphael, that is good news.
So, Lauren, the CDC is now revising its list of people at higher risk of COVID-19. Pregnant women have been added to the list, but age alone as a factor has been removed. Here's the latest on this new information. The CDC now classifying it as an increasing risk as people are getting older. Underlying health conditions most likely to lead to suffering or death have also been updated. Sickle cell disease, which is a major issue here in Indiana, is now in that category, and the risk threshold for obesity has been lowered from a body mass index of 40 to 30. People with chronic kidney disease are considered to be the most at risk.
And for those itching to visit your older relatives like parents or grandparents, doctors say there are some steps you should take if you do go. First, they say assess the risk. Do they have any underlying health conditions they need to be aware of? And how many people are making the visit with you? If those risk factors are low, doctors say the next step is to plan ahead by 2 weeks. That means limiting your outings and social interactions before the visit, and even getting tested if you can. They also say choose driving over flying and maintain social distance when you arrive.
This morning, we have a recall alert for you. Toyota is now recalling hundreds of thousands of its electric vehicles because of an issue with its fail-safe mode. So check this out. This impacts more than 200,000 Prius models right here in the United States. Toyota says because of the fail-safe issue, certain vehicles could lose power and stall, increasing the risk of a crash. The recall focuses on certain 2013 through 2015 Prius models and Prius V models made from 2014 through 2017. Now, Toyota plans to notify owners by late August. The vehicles can be taken to the dealers to fix the system at no charge.
Now that it's summer, many people are looking to buy a new boat, maybe a camper, but there are some online deals out there that are just too good to be true. So coming up, what you need to look out for so you don't waste your money.
So let's take a live look outside. This is west of downtown Indianapolis towards the Indianapolis Zoo. A good day to spend it with the penguins in the exhibit there at the zoo. But a big good morning to Marion, Mooresville, and Muncie. Some really good places to live. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Of our competitors, Florist Your Home. That's who.
The time right now is 6:25 on our Friday. Raphael, it's time to talk about what is trending at 6. So we even had a story yesterday similar to this one of that elderly woman, I think out in Scotland, walking up her stairs to raise money, all inspired by another gentleman. And this is another person putting us to shame. This time, a 5-year-old double amputee out in England has raised over $1 million for a children's hospital by walking more than 6 miles on brand new prosthetic legs and crutches. Tony Hudgell has to have both legs amputated after suffering injuries as a baby. After watching 100-year-old Sir Tom Moore raise millions by walking laps around his garden, Hudgell says he wanted to do the same thing for the hospital that helped to save his life. There you go, Raphael.
What an inspiration.
Yeah.
We should never complain after seeing stories like this. But
I know, that's awesome.
What an amazing young man. I need to do better today. So thank you for giving me that inspiration. A good morning today to Troy Thomas. He's our hometown hero on this Friday. Troy is a paramedic with the Pike Township Fire Department right here in Indianapolis. Congrats to him and to his team for providing critical services on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
We're so appreciative of all of our hometown heroes, Raphael. Well, we know sales of campers and boats, they are soaring this summer. I can tell you that is true from personal experience. Many more travelers are wanting to reduce the risk of catching COVID-19 while traveling, so they're turning to that. But unfortunately, that means some of the best deals on the models out there are no deal at all. Consumer reporter John Matarese has some scam warnings that you need to watch out for so you don't waste your money.
And this year of COVID, many of us are trying to avoid crowds, so buying a boat or a camper for your family may sound like a great idea, as long as you don't get scammed.
Tracy Beers is a single mom and watercolor artist who wanted a way to spend more time outdoors.
We like to camp and fish and all that kind of stuff.
Tracy's dream was to take her kids boating and camping this summer to avoid the risk of COVID-19 in a hotel room. But she found dealers too expensive. So she turned to Facebook Marketplace, where she found much better deals.
There, she spotted this 2011 pontoon boat for just $1,800, along with a camper for only $1,000. So she messaged the seller, asking why the price was so low.
Husband died 3 months ago. They need to get rid of it. It was just too many memories.
That made sense. Also giving her confidence, the seller was using eBay to handle the transaction, with a request for eBay gift cards as payment.
Give them the numbers when you scratch off the back.
The contract promised eBay's protection.
We're not going to give the person the money until the product has been delivered.
But after spending almost $3,000 on gift cards, the seller ghosted her.
The number was changed.
Tracy had fallen victim to what's called the Facebook Marketplace scam. The ad had been stolen, then reposted at a much lower price. That 2011 pontoon boat for $1,800, we found the same model for $18,000.
What do you think of people putting this scam together?
I think it's horrible that they're doing it, and I'm hoping that I can help someone else.
Whether you're buying a boat, car, or camper, be suspicious if the price is too low, especially if you can't see it in person. So please don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Friday, this is your 6:30 news feed. A crash on the southwest side of Indianapolis has left 2 people dead. That crash happened around 1:15 this morning on Kentucky Avenue, just north of the Ameriplex Parkway. Officers tell RTV6 a vehicle was traveling northbound on Kentucky Avenue at a high rate of speed and lost control. 2 people were thrown from that vehicle and died at the scene.
Police are asking for the public's help to find 2 vehicles involved in a hit-and-run crash on the northeast side that left 1 woman dead. Investigators say the first car hit 58-year-old Linda Kimbrough just after 11:30 Wednesday night on 30th Street near Sherman. As she tried to get out of the road, a Jeep Grand Cherokee hit her. Kimbrough died at the scene.
Even though more businesses are reopening, the number of people filing for unemployment in our state is rising again. The Department of Labor says nearly 32,000 people in Indiana filed for unemployment for the first time just last week. And that's an increase of almost 8,000 from the previous week.
Well, someone within the athletic department at Purdue University has tested positive for COVID-19. The school did not say whether it was an athlete, coach, or staff member, but they say that the person is in quarantine. Purdue brought football players back to campus to begin workouts on June 8th. Men's and women's basketball players followed the week later.
In the world of sports, Colts legend Edgerrin James will have to wait to be formally inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The NFL says it will postpone the enshrinement ceremony that had been scheduled for August the 8th due to COVID-19. That ceremony will now happen in 2021. The league also canceled this year's Hall of Fame game, which is usually the first exhibition game of the season. Of course, Edgerrin James, what a superstar. He deserves all those praises. But of course, on this Friday, I get to work with 2 superstars in Lauren and Todd. So it makes it all worth getting up before the sun rises. Good morning to you both on this Friday morning.
Oh, good morning, Raphael. Thank you so much. We do want to talk right now with Todd Clausen. He's been telling us to get outside the last 2 days because the humidity was down and it was beautiful out there, Todd. But today is the day that things are starting to change. So what do people need to know on this Friday?
Yeah, and I hope you took advantage of the advice to get out there and enjoy the low humidity, because the change is already starting to happen there this morning across the area. If you haven't walked out the door yet, you'll notice the temperatures are up and the humidity levels have come up as well already this morning. We are dealing with hazy sunshine this morning and just a few fair weather clouds as you look from downtown off to the north. But what's going to happen is a warm front is going to push through the area during the morning hours. And as this front's coming in, you notice a little more in the way of cloud cover currently in western portions of the state. And there's also now a few isolated showers that have kind of flared up. And this is what it's going to look like from now basically through the noon hour. Just these little specks on radar, which is going to be a quick passing shower or a quick little downpour that's going to be making its way through your area. And it's part of this warm front that, again, is making its way through portions of Indiana already. And it will fully push through the area by mid-afternoon. So once we get to, I say, 12, 1 o'clock, rain chances basically come out of the forecast. And then it's a lot of hazy sunshine. But once this front is through, look at the temperatures this afternoon. Right around 90 in Indy, 92 in Lafayette, 90 in Bloomington, 91 in Rockville, upper 80s off towards the east. So it turns very warm, turns very muggy, and then rain chances stay in the forecast for the weekend and beyond. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look right now at your Friday morning commute. This is up on the northwest side of town at I-465 and West 86th Street. You can see traffic there is moving along up to speed, both northbound and southbound, and the sun is shining. Grab the sunglasses before you head out on the roads. No crashes in this area to slow you down. But as you're heading out there, we do have a heads up to drivers. This will impact a lot of you. Another major road closure is underway right now. I-70 westbound between the South Split downtown over to Ronald Reagan Parkway on the west side is now officially closed. And our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning from that area with how this project could impact your commute. Hey, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So this road's been closed for about 2.5 hours, and it will remain closed for the next month as NDOT does work. You can see behind me, we're here on McCarty Street. They've already got barriers up. The closed sign is up there, and they're going to close this so they can do concrete patching and work on bridges in this area. So as most of you know, I-70 West is a popular interstate to get downtown or to the airport, and NDOT says all collector lanes will be open to and from the airport during the closures. So to get to the airport from I-70 westbound, westbound, you should take I-465 southbound around to the Ronald Reagan collector lanes, or you can continue north on I-465 to get back to I-70 westbound. These full interstate closures will make for faster work and, most importantly, ensure the safety for their workers. Now, the timing of this work does depend on the rain, so if it does rain a lot, it could be longer than a month that this closure happens. And of course, if you take I-70 westbound, just make sure that you check and double check your route before you head out. And of course, make sure you have no distractions while driving. I'm Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you so much. This morning, an update on how COVID-19 is now impacting our state. Here are the latest numbers. The State Department of Health reported 523 new COVID-19 cases on Thursday. That's 242 more cases that were reported on Wednesday. The exact reason for this increase is unclear, but look at the number of new cases tests on Thursday. Nearly 12,400 people, and that's almost 7,000 more people that were tested on Wednesday. The state also confirms 9 new COVID-19 deaths. Now, since the pandemic began, nearly 2,400 Hoosiers have died from the coronavirus. The time now is 6:35, and this morning, a Tyson plant employee, he's asking for his company to do more at the Logansport facility up in Cass County.
But we need help from the government and the companies. No one should have to get seriously ill or die, not when they can be protected.
Dennis Medborn works at the Logansport plant. He spoke publicly at a news conference with his union, UFCW. He feels safety precautions to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the facility were made too late to have an impact. In early May, a different Tyson employee shared his concerns with RTV6 after hundreds of his co-workers tested positive for the virus. A couple of weeks after that, company officials, they shared video with us showing some of the extra measures being taken to protect employees, including temperature checks, break room sanitation, and on-site medical screenings. Medborn says more can be done.
It's been a dark few months. I think that is the scariest thing about this virus. It spreads before you even know you have it, and so much is still unknown. There are still people in the plant that are at risk of getting it, which means there are still people coming into work every day in fear.
The Tyson plant in Logansport, it closed from April the 25th through May the 10th, while the company tested all employees and instituted those new safety procedures. Nearly 900 of the facility's 2,200 employees were infected with COVID-19. Now, Tyson released a lengthy statement to RTV6, saying in part, in their own words, since we worked with health officials to conduct facility-wide testing of our Logansport plant back in April, we've seen significant improvement. We are aware of no positive cases of any team member currently working in our facility. Any team member who has tested positive will remain on sick leave until they've satisfied official health requirements for return to work. And we currently have very few cases. You can read the company's full statement right now to RTV6 on the RTV6 app. Lauren?
And Raphael, at 6:38, as a number of people continue to struggle during this pandemic, support will be available later today at a drive-through resource fair in Indianapolis. So tables and booths will be set up in the parking lot at Martin University from 2 until 5 this afternoon. There you can get free face coverings, school supplies, health screenings, food, counseling information, and more. Organizers want people to know about services that are still available.
Our community has been in their homes for several months now. COVID, everything's reopening. So we're trying to get all our community members information and just giving them the resources and showing them that we care as organizations here in the community for their life.
The fair is free and no registration is required. Again, it's this afternoon at Martin University. It's in the parking lot from 2 until 5 o'clock.
So summer is here, and for some that means it's time to hit the water to cool off. But coming up, what you need to know to keep you and your loved ones safe. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Studio at Value City Furniture.
We do have some sad news this morning to share out of Northeast Indiana. Conservation officers say that a man from Illinois is the latest person to die from a drowning here in Indiana. Officers say Rocky Rutledge was swimming with his family at Pokagon State Park near Angola on Thursday. They say the 61-year-old man drowned after trying to retrieve his boat, which was drifting away. And now we are getting some new information, Raphael. Since that man's death was reported, another person here in Indiana has drowned, bringing the total to 10 drownings in Indiana, and that's just in 12 days' time. So we know several of those drownings are happening while people are just swimming here around central Indiana.
So, Lauren, our Alyssa Donovan is joining us this morning. She was telling us what officials want you to know to keep safe this summer. Alyssa, good morning to you.
Accidents on lakes and rivers can happen when you're swimming or boating, which is why it's so important to have a plan before you even head out on the waterways. Planning ahead and knowing what hazards you might encounter is critical when it comes to water safety. If you're kayaking or tubing, make sure you have the proper protective equipment. Wearing PFDs or life jackets is critical. As for swimming, be sure you're competent with the natural environment. It's not quite the same as when you're in your backyard pool. You need to keep an eye out for currents and waves and underwater obstructions.
We want people to know where they're going, plan their routes ahead of time, and then wear the PFDs. That is one of the biggest things you can do to keep yourself safe is wear those life jackets and make sure everybody in the group has one, regardless of your swim level.
While boating and hanging out at the lake is often associated with alcohol, law enforcement says you really need to limit your consumption when you're around water, especially when driving a boat. The same rules apply on the road as they do on the water when it comes to drunk driving. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Tens of thousands of Hoosiers we know are out of work, and for some, their rent is coming due next week. So next we'll break down the new program from the state designed to help keep a roof over your head during this pandemic. Todd.
And we're starting to see a few isolated downpours pop up here across parts of central Indiana. They're mainly off to the west right now, south of Rockville, but they'll become a little more numerous this morning. But they're all going to be just very spotty as the warm front works its way through. Better storm chances tonight and into the overnight hours. We'll talk more about that for you coming up in your full Storm Team 6 forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on RTV6.
Everything has stacked up. They said that they couldn't evict us, but that does not go away. It just stacks up against us.
The coronavirus pandemic is making it hard for Hoosiers like Deborah Biller of Monroe County to pay their rent. But the state now has a COVID-19 rental assistance program, and it's providing up to $500 a month for 4 months to help renters like Deborah with those payments and late fees.
And Lauren, the money will go directly to the landlord. It could either cover past or current rent or even those late fees. So let's connect you to this key program. Now, to be eligible, you must have lost your job or part of your income due to COVID-19, and you must not have received rent assistance through any other program. Now, attorneys specializing in renters' rights, they tell us that this program could help a lot of people. Now, your landlord does have to agree to participate in the program, but experts believe that in most cases that they will.
The only thing that I can see a landlord not willing to participate in is if, number one, if there's a problem tenant and they see this as their opportunity to move the tenant out at some point, or if the tenant has shown a history of not being able to pay or is so far behind, something along those lines.
So it's important to note that Marion County residents are not eligible for this program because the county already has its own separate assistance program. You can find more information on how to apply for this Renters Assistance Program on our website at theindychannel.com.
Well, several states could see a massive dust cloud this weekend. It actually started in the Sahara Desert and it's made its way across the globe. Meteorologists say this is a phenomenon that happens every year. It is expected this year to be especially big, and some weather experts are even calling it a Godzilla dust cloud. Gulf Coast states like Texas have already seen some of the effects, and Todd, we're hearing that we could even see some effects here in Indiana, but you're saying this will be more like a haze, right?
Yeah, you know, that's going to be the biggest impact here in central Indiana, Lauren. It's going to be a little hazy throughout the course of the next couple days, but we're going to have more in the way of clouds around as well. So you may not even really notice it as much as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Now, we're talking about rain chances here in the forecast for the day today. It's a real small opportunity for these rain chances, though. Mid-morning into the early afternoon, you notice that big spike there to 80%, and then they drastically drop very quickly as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours, and that's because there's a warm front that is going to be heading through, and that warm front's already making its way into western Indiana. A live look from downtown to the north shows the increasing clouds already this morning, and temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, and these temperatures will really skyrocket as we work our way into the afternoon hours once that warm front pushes through. Looking at highs generally between about 87 and 92 degrees later on today, with those warmer temperatures being the further west you are, where you get into the warmer air just a little bit quicker. I think highs in the metro area will generally be right around 90 degrees. So sunshine to the east this morning, more in the way of clouds to the west. And we're also now bringing in just a few isolated rain showers and downpours that have making their way through Rockville. These are pushing towards Greencastle. And this is what radar is going to look like really from now until about the noon hour as this front makes its way through central Indiana. The heavier storms, which you see there west of Chicago, they're going to move through Chicago and then eventually across Lake Michigan into the state of Michigan. We're solely just going to be trying to manufacture some showers with the passage of a warm front working its way through the area. But those storms to the north, if you are traveling weekend plans to Chicago or up to say maybe Michigan City, Indiana Dunes, or into Michigan, South Haven, they're in the enhanced risk for severe weather today. So be aware of that as you work your way south. You notice it's a slight risk through Fort Wayne. It does include the Peru area and then a marginal risk for Indy, but that's mainly overnight tonight. And I think as these storms come in, they'll be in a weakening state, so I'm not really too concerned about severe weather for you in the forecast. Back to this morning, 9 a.m. on TrueCast here, just a few spotty storms. You see that moving through as this warm front makes its way through the area. Plenty of hazy sunshine and dry hours as we work our way throughout the day today. Overnight, don't be shocked if you hear a rumble of thunder, but the big question mark is for tomorrow. How far does this cold front push to the south? Because all the storms tomorrow are going to be firing up right along the front. So some of you don't see any rainfall throughout the day on Saturday, while some of you will have to deal with several rounds, probably some heavy downpours. No severe weather again expected tomorrow. But as you do make your outdoor plans, I wouldn't cancel tomorrow's plans today because it's all going to be dependent where that front sets up. So hold off on canceling anything, but just know that there will be some storms out there in areas. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, more isolated storms, Lauren, in the forecast as conditions remain very warm and muggy.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic. This is near the downtown area where we have a closure of the interstate. Westbound lanes of I-70 between the South Split and Ronald Reagan Parkway are now closed for about a month, a long-term construction project by INDOT. So just keep that in mind. You can use I-65 South to 465 West to reroute and get you over to the west side from the downtown area, or maybe take some side streets. We'll continue to keep you updated, and we have more news coming up just after the break. Stay with us.
RTV6 app on your phone or streaming device.
Well, the end of the week is finally here, and Raphael, that means it is time for Good News Friday. We want to kick this off. Yeah, we're so excited. We want to kick this off with a military vet who needed help, and he ended up getting more than he could even ask for.
So he came to RTV6 about a year ago asking for help, and now a home makeover beyond his wildest dreams has become a reality.
And I appreciate you looking for a group to help me.
We first met Kevin Grieve just last June after doctors diagnosed him with congestive heart failure. He struggled to take care of his home. We searched for veteran outreach groups and connected him to Helping Heroes of America. The organization specializes in yard work and home repairs for veterans. But in this case, the group went above and beyond the call of duty, renovating and remodeling Grieve's entire home. A big thank you to that group, and a big thank you to our Stephanie Wade, who did a lot of the work to get this done.
Yeah, we love that story. That is so awesome. All right, well, look at this one, Raphael. Augie, he's a top doggy, or at least he's the oldest one. The Golden Hearts Golden Retrievers Rescue say that Augie is now 20 years old. 20. That makes her the oldest known golden retriever on record. And while the pandemic forced her big birthday party at her home in Maryland to be canceled, her owner says that they still celebrated with a dog-friendly carrot cake. Oh, and I love how dogs start to get a little gray on their face, but Augie there is completely white in the face. I think every dog owner, especially golden retrievers, you wish they could live to be 20, 30 years old, and they usually don't. So that is awesome.
The
Way to go,
lesson of the
Augie.
story, Lauren, the lesson of the story is to respect your seniors.
Yes.
Todd and Lauren, respect your seniors,
I love
even
that.
on this shift.
Oh, okay. So we won't talk about who that is. Oh, my goodness.
Not me. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I'm not the senior one. I'm not far
All
behind.
right,
but I'm
Todd,
not the
let's get a
senior
check
one.
of our weather right
All
now.
right, some spotty showers out there right now. We'll have the chance of showers through about the noon hour, then dry the rest of the day with high temperatures near 90 degrees.
All right, have a great weekend.